What if the best team from every age group competed in a mini-league? Would Bellingham lead a youthful team to the top? Would the long-awaited Messi-Ronaldo link-up take the crown? Or would the most dominant players from the past 3 years win it all? In this test, we've divided all the best players in world football into 5 age groups, starting with the teenagers. This was going to be the team that represented the best teenage team in world football. Starting with Bellingham, who was head and shoulders above everybody else. My knowledge isn't great on teenagers. I'm going to lose my job. All I know is that De Bast is the 6th best centre-back, so he's definitely not the best. Despite him not being one of the best rated wingers, I had to include United fans' desperation of a wet dream that is Alejandro Garnacho. So this was a team that they settled on, and it's looking pretty jank. Now through this challenge, every team is going to have the same formation and the same setups tactically, so that doesn't come into play. We're just going to let the talent show. Up next, we have the 20 to 23-year-olds represented by Chelsea. For goalkeepers, unfortunately, Lucas Mantella isn't a real person, so we had to settle for Diego Stick Costa instead. Kvaratskhelia was somehow rated lower than Sancho, and I have absolutely no idea why. But overall, the future looks bright for this team. 24s to 27s were next, and that was with Wolves. The 3 centre-backs are on the same level. I couldn't pick between, so I left out Hernandez as there was already one of them in the squad, and I didn't want to get them confused. Recent Arsenal and England transfer record Declan Rice was being picked, and I found it interesting that he was the same rating as Kessie and Højbjerg. Another showing of hatred towards lower clubs, Fifa decided to rate Eberechi Eze a lot lower than some players that he's clearly better than. On the page 3 of cams, I found my favourite president of all time, of course, being Albania's president, Bajram Bagaj. And up front, En-Nesyri is somehow rated the same as Martial, 1 lower than one of the least likeable players in world football, and 2 lower than one of the most likeable players. Feels harsh considering this guy's been bagging for years. The penultimate team was the 28 to 31-year-olds, the clear favourites of the tournament. Didn't really have much to say other than how his Ake rated, only 1 higher than Tyrone Mings, and the same as Harry Maguire. They're stacked throughout the pitch, and they're definitely my personal favourites to win the whole thing, with their lowest rated player in the starting lineup being an 87 Cancelo, and on the bench they've got nothing less than an 85. Sadio Mane doesn't even make the bench. Stacked. Finally, we have the 32 and overs. They're represented by the old boys of the Premier League, West Ham. I find it quite interesting that Schmeichel is still criminally underrated, and at left back we had my birthplace, Cheltenham Town, one of their legends, Yuri. Absolutely love the centre mids, and they're stacked out with Modric, Kroos, Parejo, Gundogan, and Thiago. Not sure how Gundogan's not rated higher than Parejo, but here we are. There wasn't a single 80 plus rated left mid, so I had to go for the left wingers. At Cam, they get Muller Rice and probably the most cursed player in football history, Marco Reus. I decided to pick him over Mertens as I wanted Reus to have a chance of actually winning something in his career. And I did not clock that Mahrez was that old. Even with his talent, he doesn't make the starting lineup because this player here is in front of him. Don't really know much about him, but he looks like a decent player. And am I the only one that has literally never seen this guy have a good game? But I know he bags. It's a weird one. Let me know if you agree. So there's the teams, and now the format is pretty simple. So what they're all going to do is compete in a league, and then at the end of it, first we'll play 4th in a 2-leg game, and second we'll play 3rd. The winners playing each other in the final. 5th will get knocked out, and I have no doubt that it will be the young boys, as they literally have 2 players that are rated 80 or above and a 66 goalkeeper, so they're probably likely to get bummed. No Nancy jokes meant there. We put them in a league, and after playing each other once, at the halfway point the teenage upset was on. Southampton were in 3rd. Wolves were the early leaders, being the only unbeaten team, destroying every stat on the league leaders chart, with Osimhen and Mbappe just molesting the rest of the world. Come here, my boy. West Ham and Chelsea were yet to win. Could we really be losing Ronaldo and Messi, or even Haaland at this early stage? Southampton gained another huge win, and West Ham got their first win, defeating unbeaten Wolves. Ronaldo was sent off, Chelsea got their first win, Van Dijk was injured. The informed West Ham beat Saints, with Arda Güler missing a penalty at 2-1. How big could that be? Villa coped without Van Dijk and beat top of the league Wolves. Wolves lost for the 3rd time in a row, and Chelsea were off the bottom spot. Saints lost by 1 goal in their final game to seal their fate and their early exit. Here's how the final table looked. Messi and Ronaldo combined to take home advantage into the semis and would be playing against Haaland's Chelsea. And Kylian Mbappe would be taking Wolves to a semi-final against early favourites Aston Villa. Osimhen and Mbappe failed to score in the second half of the season, but managed to take home the Golden Boot and 3rd place. Sergio Ramos somehow got the most assists, and Ronaldo was the only player to be sent off. In the first semi-final, we had Villa hosting Wolves at the creatively named Villa Park. Villa took the lead after Salah pounced on some questionable defending, and Villa perhaps overplayed at times, and it cost them. After some odd decisions from the Wolves attackers, De Jong decided to let show something that he's never had in him, a weak foot outside the box shot, but it was 1-1. Wolves found their stride, and after a bullshit call from the referee to give a handball, Trent tested Courtois, but Halibut came out on top. Courtois pulled off a great save, and Kane went down the other end to restore the lead. Now look at this. Oh, look at that. Unreal link-up play, great finish. Villa had found their flow, and all the front 3 had scored. The second half started slow, then Salah did what he did best and flopped in the box and got a pen. Do you think this was a pen? I think it's soft. Kane took the penalty, and it was 4-1. Wolves were all over the place, and Bernardo made it 5-1, surely all over for Mbappe and Wolves. And Nkunku came on, who immediately linked up with Mbappe, who set up Osimhen to make it 5-2. 2-2, celebrating like they hadn't had their pants pulled down for the last 75 minutes. Trent decided to dampen any chance of a comeback by heading the ball 2 yards from goal, and with Donnarumma nowhere to be seen, Neymar made it 6-2, and Harry Kane showed us that he can actually dance. It finished 6-2, and the only positive Wolves can take was that it wasn't as bad as that time that Villa dicked Liverpool. Up next was Chelsea, hosting table toppers West Ham. Haaland played a nice through pass to Reece James and he made it 1-0. West Ham were frustrating to watch throughout the first half, but it didn't matter. Benzema made it 1-1 going in after 45. De Ligt was the next to succumb to the soft handball decisions, and Ronaldo, wearing his famous 38 shirt, made it 2-1.
Muchas gracias, afición. Isto é para vosotros.
Saliba then had a brain fart and it led to Messi being put through, but Costa came out on top to keep Chelsea within 1. Lewandowski was on for Ronaldo and the assist king Ramos set up Benzema, who should have done better. Substitute Wirtz made it 2-2 with a nice team goal, and De Ligt was immediately investigated for match fixing after this cock-up, and Benzema couldn't make it count. It finished 2-2 and everything to play for in the second leg. The return leg of Wolves versus Aston Villa started with Salah being put through, but then shitting himself and trying to run away from Donnarumma. Surely it wouldn't matter with such a big lead. No, it wouldn't. 1-0 Villa. Mbappe made it 1-1 to equalise on the night. Osimhen then injured De Bruyne to try and balance the power, but it didn't work, and Bernardo made it 2-1. Another ridiculous handball against VVD, and Mbappe summed up Wolves' semi-final run with a tame effort. He made up for it with an equaliser on the day, and it was 2-2. It finished all square, and Villa were the first team to make the final. Final game of the semi-finals started with probably the worst half yet, the highlight being what would have been the best goal yet, only for Neuer to stop Pedri. Literally nothing else happened, and it was 0-0 at half-time. I wish I clipped more of Haaland's game because honestly, the man is not a big game player. He did nothing but chip through balls that never came off. Penaldo was flagged offside in a call that was tighter than your nan's. Haaland had a decent chance to shoot, but because it's a high-pressure game, he froze, and he didn't press shoot quick enough. Modric did Modric's things and came up with the goods when it mattered most. Chelsea had 25 minutes to save their campaign, and surely they wouldn't find it easy to break down the experienced opponents. They did, and Haaland, always rated him, set up Saka to square things up again. Enzo Fernandez came on for Chelsea and immediately tested Neuer, who from the resulting corner pulled off another big save. In the final minutes, Saliba played a worldy diag to Saka, who teed up Vlahovic, but Neuer pushed it away for a corner. Vlahovic on the end of the cross, but again kept out by Manuel. That was that, and the game went to extra time. Griezmann came on for R38, strange one with pens looming. The first half, nothing really happened, and hold on, have they brought on Trippier at right mid, replacing Messi? What is Moisey doing? Pedro Porro whipped in a worldie that was put home by Enzo, and Chelsea were on course for the shock win. Perhaps Trippier at right wing instead of Messi isn't as smart as it sounds, huh David?
Don't care.
West Ham had 10 minutes, but they didn't have Messi nor Ronaldo, but they did have Kieran Trippier. Oh, for fuck's sake.
You are nothing, you are a fool.
Luka Modric then tried to carry a whole team again, but Diogo's stick Costa pulled off a good save to force a corner. The corner came in and Saliba cleared. Centre-back Maestro Ramos kept the attack going and the ball found its way to Modric, who sold everyone watching. Busquets played to Griezmann and he just froze. Twice. Reece James pocketing him in the big moment, and just like that, Chelsea had done it. Fourth in the league, but in the final. So the final was set. 28 to 31-year-old Aston Villa versus 20 to 23-year-old Chelsea. Haaland versus Kane. The Dutch De Ligt versus the Dutch Van Dijk. Halibut versus Diogo Stick. Pedri versus KDB. Vinny Jr. versus Neymar Jr. Gerrard versus Lampard. Oh, wait, no. Kimmich fouled Vinicius early on, and the ref followed strictly UEFA guidelines to try and make every game about him, and showed poor Joshua a yellow card. Diogo Stick then had an absolute nightmare, and KDB beat him to a cross to tap home and take an early lead. Surely not another drubbing in store. Cancelo was then somehow not booked after trying to break Saka's legs, and the resulting free kick was utter shite. Chelsea grew into the game, but clearly that knock from Cancelo had taken something out of Saka's legs, as he messed up two good chances in quick succession. It didn't matter though, and Tonali set up Vinny, who thunder-bastarded the ball into the top corner, 1-1. The half quietened down until Kane slotted a pass to Bernardo, whose shot was well saved by Costa. Chelsea had a few chances to break Villa down, but Haaland fannied around on the edge of the box, and then Pedri ignored a completely open Saka. Saka's broken legs crossed to Musiala, who looked like he was about to tee up the best goal he'd ever score, but he let it bounce too much, and justice was served by a firm hand from Courtois. Half-time, the teams were even. Chelsea were definitely the better team in the half, but would need to be more ruthless if they wanted to pull off this shock win. Chelsea started lively, and a good hit by Haaland was well saved by Courtois. Haaland bottled a header, again proving... Oh, see you later.
Cheers.
Silva showed some good footwork, and Neymar finished well. 2-1 Villa. Salah danced around the Chelsea defence to tee up Silva, who made it 3-1. Game over? De Bruyne pinged this little beauty of a pass to Neymar, and Cade tried to get flary.
You're not that guy.
The ref was having none of it and booked him for showboating.
You're not that guy, pal.
Chelsea needed a goal soon to have any chance, and a good counter-attack. Oh, God. Get this poor man off. Cancelo has killed him. Reece James took his anger out on Neymar, and Neymar tried volleying it back into his face. The referee respected the battle and signalled a fight to the death. Chelsea were running out of time, and a better pass by Davies here would have surely led to a Haaland goal. A bit of luck led to a potential chance from Kane, but James pulled off an unreal block to keep a glimmer of hope. Foden came off the bench and a lovely back heel led to Haaland, wide open, but he absolutely hates big games. Pure bottle from the big man. A goal there, and you never know. There wasn't enough time, and that was that. Perhaps the most unbelievable thing being that Kane actually won a trophy. Overall, Chelsea actually had a more threatening game, but a mixture of Courtois and some bad finishing led to Villa pouncing and taking the title. Pre-tournament favourites, the 28 to 31-year-olds did it. Thank you for watching. Please drop a comment, a like, or a subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Who was the most disappointing player? What experiment would you like to see next? And did Villa deserve it? Let us know below. Take care, and we'll see you on the flip-flop.